Welcome into NFL Daily. I am your host, Harrison Graham, alongside Tom Downey, and we got to take a look at the Detroit Lions head coaching position because it might be time to fire Matt Patricia, Tom.
NFL Hot Seat SZN is here. We're going to kick things off with Patricia because this is not a typo. I almost didn't believe it when I saw it. The Lions have lost 11 straight games.
That's bad.
That's really bad. Now, maybe things are different if DeAndre Swift just, catches that pass against the Chicago Bears or, if the Lions don't collapse in that game to begin with. But Patricia has been a substantial downgrade, at least when it comes to the most important thing, results for coaches, from Jim Caldwell. Now, the Lions allowed him to bring in all these different pieces to fit the Patricia scheme. The defense is still not good under the alleged defensive genius. The Lions fired Caldwell because 9-7 wasn't good enough. They'd kill for 9-7 right now.
I'm old enough to remember when Jim Schwartz was considered the worst coach in the NFL as a head coach. He's better than Matt Patricia has been from a winning percentage point, Tom. It has not gone well. The idea of stealing Bill Belichick disciples, more often than not, has not been successful for other NFL teams, and Matt Patricia appears to be the latest example of that unless he can figure something out fast.
And here's the issue for Detroit. This might get a little bit worse because they have a Week 5 bye. Their next two games are at the Arizona Cardinals and home against the New Orleans Saints. I don't think they're going to win those games. So for Detroit, kind of all of a sudden, well, I guess at the end of last year, Patricia was in the hot seat. If you're right, Harrison, if they don't get going quickly, I think things are in trouble for both Matt Patricia and the guy who hired him, GM Bob Quinn.
And if you kind of check out the latest terms of coaches who could be on the hot seat, who could be fired, he's staring Adam Gase for that number one guy. And quite frankly, Tom, the way that the Jets ownership and GM and front office talks about Gase, I actually think it's more likely that Patricia is the first to go, especially if, like you said, they lose these next two games, start 0-4, heading into the bye week. They may feel like Week 5 is the time to make a change.
The early bye might be a blessing for Matt Patricia because after a 4-game sample size for a year is very small, even if it is, a quarter of it, #math. That's a pretty quick trigger for a head coach. So I do think the Lions should fire Matt Patricia. I've seen enough. I think I'm prepared to say, you know what, it's time for him to go. I'm not convinced the Lions are at that point yet, though.
Our tone is pretty clear. We think it's time to move on from Matt Patricia. But what do you guys think, especially you Lions fans? Type Y for yes, type N for no. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if you think it's time to fire him, you can reply right there. Either way. So on today's show, Tom, as we explore some potential replacements, you put together a list of guys if the Lions do move on from Matt Patricia, starting with a local guy, Jim Harbaugh, the head coach of Michigan.
Had to include him, right? First off, Harbaugh is going to consistently be linked to NFL head coaching rumors from now until, heck, probably even whenever he rejoins the NFL, he'll still be linked. It's kind of like Odell Beckham trade rumors. They're just always there. He's always going to be linked. The issue for me and why Harbaugh is not higher on this list despite the local connection, leaving Michigan right now would kind of be admitting failure. Like, he didn't get to Michigan to where they can be. He can't leave yet.
Not only that, I'll add another caveat. He was one of the biggest voices in trying to salvage the Big Ten season. Oh, hey, the Big Ten's back, but I'm gone. I'm going to the NFL. So, hey, money talks. If the Lions come calling and offer a big contract,
Michigan's offering a pretty good, paying him pretty good
I'll
right now.
never say never, but that would be a little bit contradictory from the Michigan head football coach. We will see what happens. Who should be the next Lions head coach? Our first candidate here, Jim Harbaugh. We got a few more to get into. Let us know who you guys think should be the next coach of the Detroit Lions. Number 4 here, Josh McDaniels, and I quite frankly am loving what I'm seeing with this Patriots offense with Cam Newton, but are the Lions going to go back to the well of Bill Belichick assistants?
A lot of this comes down to what happens with Bob Quinn. If he gets to stick around again as GM and make another hire, which I'm not convinced he's going to, but if he does, I think he would try to bring in Josh McDaniels with their familiarity from their time together in New England. McDaniels, though, is also the obvious coach in waiting, and I think you're right. He's done a fantastic job going from a very short, no quarterback run passing game with Tom Brady to a heavy quarterback run game with Cam Newton. That's the mark of a good offensive mind, being able to adjust to your personnel. I also throw out this there, and I'm sorry in advance, Detroit fans, I don't think the Lions' job is particularly attractive. If I'm McDaniels, I'm not going to leave the Patriots where I have a very good thing going, and I can just wait till Bill retires and be head coach.
So before we get into our top 3 candidates to replace Matt Patricia, if he is fired, if you want more Lions news and rumors, Lions fans, we got you covered. Go check out our guy Micro Mike on YouTube. That link below, chatsports.com/LionsTV. It's going to redirect you to Micro Mike's Lions YouTube channel. He covers the latest Lions news and rumors, and I promise you, he's not liking what he's seeing from Matt Patricia. So go give him a look, chatsports.com/LionsTV. Top 3 here, Tom. Greg Roman, a name who's been moving up. He was a candidate last year for some openings, the Ravens offensive coordinator.
Yeah, you could go with some defensive guys here. Matt Eberflus for the Colts. The other Ravens coordinator, Don Martindale. I think the Lions are going to swing back to the direction. You go defense, now you go offense. Roman has done a fantastic job with that offense. The production and the play from Lamar Jackson and just the success, I think, is a testament to Greg Roman's success. The issue is he the right guy for Matthew Stafford? Because Stafford's not a runner. Is Roman going to be good enough to adapt and make a maximizing scheme?
Well, I look at him maximizing Lamar Jackson, right? I think that track record is proven. Obviously, it would be a totally different type of scheme, assuming Matthew Stafford is still going to be the quarterback, which, barring an injury or something change, maybe that's a different question for a different day. But if he's the guy there, obviously, you're not running a Lamar Jackson type of offense. Whether it's the Lions or somewhere else, Tom, I think Greg Roman is going to get an opportunity real soon. Now, we got face coverings available just for you guys, and a lot of these are on sale for up to 20% off at chatsports.com/stay safe. Some stadiums are letting fans back into their stadiums this year, Tom, and for sure by next year we're hoping that's the case as well, but you got to wear a face mask. Chatsports.com/stay safe. You can represent your favorite team, and you can stay safe, keep others safe, and enjoy football games in person because that's what we all want to see. Top 2, Brian Daboll, the Bills OC.
Now, if you guys have watched our show since the last time we were in NFL head coach hot seat season, I'm a big fan of the Bills offensive coordinator. I think the job that he's been able to do with Josh Allen has been extremely impressive.
Yes.
And you don't always just want to go based on who they worked for. I do think that having worked under and been a play caller for Nick Saban and Bill Belichick is probably a good thing.
Yes.
I think that's super intriguing. So I think he is one of the more under-the-radar candidates out there. He interviewed for the Browns head coaching job last year. Obviously, he did not get it. I think Brian is going to have a lot of interest this year, especially if the Bills keep up their early season success.
And our top guy here, and quite frankly, Tom, this is going to be number 1 on a lot of these lists that we do here, so stay subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. It's Eric Bienemy, the OC of the Chiefs. Quite frankly, it's a crime he's not a head coach already.
It doesn't make sense to me that Bienemy hasn't had a head coach job in the NFL. There were I remember the reports last year of like, he should just go take the Colorado job. I'm like, that's below him.
Yeah,
He's
seriously
done an awesome job with the Kansas City Chiefs. I've been very impressed. If you're looking for an offensive mind, he does have a lot of input in terms of the actual game day decision making, Harrison.
And a lot of people say, well, Andy Reid's the play caller, this, that. Just listen to how Andy Reid talks about
He loves him.
Listen to how Patrick Mahomes has said how big of an impact he has had on his development. Like, everybody in that organization, I mean, Reid was literally lobbying for him to get a head coaching job last offseason because he was like, look, I love the guy. I hope he sticks around, but he deserves his opportunity, and I completely agree with him. We've got Eric Bienemy at number 1. Obviously, Matt Patricia has not been fired yet. Things can change, but the schedule is still tough, Tom, and if Detroit starts 0-4, 0-5, this thing continues to go south, we might see a new head coach in Detroit.
And this might not just be a new head coach for Detroit. This could be a new GM in Bob Quinn. And at that point, maybe you should make a decision about completely blowing up the roster. We will continue to keep you updated on everything going on in Detroit, the rest of the NFL head coaching hot seat, especially when we are live, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday and Wednesday. So if you want to watch, make sure you're subscribed.